Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. It's Wednesday night. That means GBWC build. Yeah. Anyway, rocking the Fighting Cocks. Yes, the airdrop, the 67th Tactical Mobile Suit Squadron, for those of you keeping score at home. The fictional, somewhat, unit of the Jesta, the airdrop Jesta. So, fun times. But like we said earlier, I got some new shirts. Gonna rock those for the rest of the week, beginning of next week, stuff like that. I'm sure that you will like some of the new ones. And I've actually updated a few, or actually updated one. So that's fun to see, and then a couple new ones for you. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what else. If you are interested in getting one of these awesome airdrop shirts, hit up www.childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, many more, hats, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff. So go load up. Yeah. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we are going to be working with here today, I highly suggest you hit the little Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side if you're watching on Facebook. Now, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It goes to help out me, goes to help out the stream, and fuel our endeavors moving forward. And took a big step on one of those just a little bit earlier after the early stream. But I'm not gonna say too much after that. If you are interested in kits, tools, paints, accessories, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now, right down here yonder at our good friends USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine crew will definitely have what you need. Now, if you like what you see here, if you get benefit from this live stream, if you learn something from it, man, hit the like, subscribe, and follow on all the rest of the social media channels. You can keep up with what we're doing off stream, right? And then if you know somebody or a group of somebodies that could benefit from watching the stream, share it with them. It's the nice thing to do. Let's go. Hell yeah. Anyway, whoo, let's get to work. What do you say? Yeah? Camera 2? Yep. Here we go. Bingo. All right, so last time we were together working on this, we went ahead and scribed in some really nice focus. Some really nice details up here on the front part of the barrel. That's looking really nice. Very, very happy with all of that. Even a little custom panel here for the little antenna guy right there. So that's all looking really good. We also have these 4 really nice looking support triangles in there to transition this kind of square-ish middle connector section thing with the rest of the barrel. So that's all looking really good there. Now, last time at the very, very end of the stream, we were taking a look at this versus the original, right? So this is kind of this one here is kind of wimpy. This one's kind of hefty. So wimpy, hefty. And if you're old enough to remember that, we can be friends. Anyway, so we're gonna start to kind of work on the back section, the mag section. That's what I have here, right? We're not gonna need that or that, but these 4 pieces here will definitely be what we're gonna be focusing on here. Yeah. So first things first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set these guys off to the side there. Actually, no, I take that back. We're gonna bring these guys into focus. We're gonna set these guys off to the side. Now, if you happen to remember, we actually had on the back section here a 1mm by 0.5 millimeter strip. It was on both sides, and you know, after looking at it, I just didn't like how it looked. I just didn't like it. Did not like it one bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot and go in a different direction. We're actually going to plate that up and make that a lot beefier, right? So we're going to laminate over top of that with some plastic strip and just kind of beef that back section out by a good amount, right? So let's first find the width of strip that we're going to need here. And 3.2 looks like a winner. Yeah, I think that's going to be the one we want. All right, cool. So, with that being said, let's square out the ends so we can get a couple strips out of this. That end is squared. That end is squared. Okay, so what we're going to do first is put our eyes on here, just like that. Excuse me. And then we're going to go ahead and estimate how much of this strip we're going to need, right? Okay, so there's the first one. And there's the second one. All right, so that's step one, okay? Is just getting the right amount of plastic strip here. Now, real quick, we gotta clean out this panel line here so I can see exactly where we need to glue the strip into place, right? Okay. Perfect. All right, that's gonna look good. Now, before we get into that, we're going to, let's see, we'll use this one here. We're going to bevel the front edge of these strips here, right? So what that means is we're going to, number one, clean our 1, 2, 3 block here, right? Clean off all the super glue and other nasty stuff off of here, and that's easy enough with good old Olfa chisel blade, right? All right, so next thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab our beveling guides here, our angle guides, right? These were sent over to us by our good friend Mr. Bill Rushlam, yeah? I don't know if Bill's in the chat or not, but we're gonna do the technique that has his namesake. We're gonna do the Rushlam technique here, and we're gonna bevel these strips on one end, right? Now, if you've not seen the Rushlam technique, well, let me show you here. We got a 60-degree angle guide here, right? And what we basically do is we put this end, because here's the angle that we want. We're going to basically use this side as a scraper, right? So this side stays flat up against here. We hold our piece, and we just pull, and that scrapes down this this piece here, right? Now, what we can do is we can get that started with like a sanding block or something like that, right? But God, that's an awful noise. That is like nails down a chalkboard. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Whew, boy. Yeah, that is not pleasant whatsoever. Nope, 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 nope. All right, so back to here, since we've got that angle started. This essentially, there we go. This will get us our perfect 60-degree angle here, and that'll give us our perfect bevel. And let's see. Not too bad. with this strip, we can probably just go back and forth like this. And just really kind of bring that down to the angle. All right, so let's get our little file in here, clean this up, make that nice and neat. Get rid of all the chaff and everything. But there's your 60-degree bevel there, and that's looking pretty nice, right? Not too shabby. And that, my friends, is the Ruchlam technique in a nutshell. Now, you can do this, obviously, a lot easier on long sides of strip and sheet. Focus. There we go. But it's actually really easy to do that on the short side as well. So that's one down. Let's go ahead and, again, get the other piece started, right? And then okay. Very good. All right, so clean this edge up with our file. Just a few passes there. Nothing crazy. And of course, like I said, we get the chaff off the corners. And there we go. Matchy bevels. Look at that. Perfect. Hey. Hey, Chris R. What's going on, buddy? He says, what tools are those? That's a great question, Chris. Let me show you. So Bill, Mr. Ruchlam, and like I said, I don't see Bill in the chat tonight, but he was kind enough to send us these. These are just little miniature angle gauges, right? And they come in 5-degree increments, starting at 5 degrees down here, all the way up to a square 90, right? And every point in between, yeah? So these are just little metal, just very thin little metal angle guides, right? But they've got a nice square edge here, which is actually kind of on the sharpish side. So we can use this as a scraper up against polystyrene. So these are what those are. These are these little angle guides. Now, of course, as always, Chris, the link, the Amazon link down there has these. Has those in there, and then obviously we use our 1, 2, 3 blocks as a nice flat surface to keep that at a 90-degree plane. So that gives us perfect 60-degree bevels on. Come on, stand up on both of those pieces. Really quite easy. And it was cool because we kind of came up with this almost as like a group. Bill thought you could use them as scrapers, and he was like, well, push away from you, and I'm like, man, that's awkward, right? And so I started pulling toward me, and it was a whole lot easier and cleaner So that's how the Ruchlam technique came into existence here. So yeah, it's very, very helpful if you want a specific angle for a piece. Now, obviously, these are pretty small, so they could work on bigger pieces, but they're really good on flat style plate material, right? So say for instance, here's one of the resin greeblies, and this is just like a little cross block, right? Focus. There we go. This is tall enough to bevel this edge. So if you wanted to, you could, in theory, bevel one of these fully formed pieces here, right? And that gets you a nice, perfect 45 degree bevel right there, right? So that's another use for it. But obviously you got to be careful because the pieces have to be flat, square, all that good stuff too, right? So like, say for instance, this little piece here, right? These top edges, these are perfect, 90 degrees right there, right? So this would be, a perfect candidate for something like this. Now, holding it is a bit of a challenge, obviously. You can see all the material that we've got coming off of there, so it's definitely doing its job. Now, one thing that I would say is when you're scraping this down, you're going to get more material removed from the middle than you do obviously on the front side and the back side of the scraping. So that's why a good sanding block is really, really useful, because you can dial in that angle if you hold it sideways like that, and then really just even down that bevel. And then there you go, a perfect from 90 to 45 degree bevel on that piece. So that kind of shows you what you can do, with this type of technique. It's actually really, really useful. So yeah, hell yeah. Ha! Manny says, I need those. Gimme. Take my money. Chris says, and ordered. Nice. Yeah, Manny, everything's in the Amazon link, dude. Why you gotta ask? Everything's down there. Killing me, dude. Killing me. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate you. And also thank Bill, because he was nice enough to send those over to us. So, all right, so we've got our nice 60 degree beveled strip here, right? And there, focus. Killing me, camera. You're killing me here right now, dude. So there's our nice 60 degree angle. That's going to look really quite nice. And then we're just going to basically laminate this on here. And we're going to bump this piece out, trim it to match all these contours and everything like that. And that will be golden at that point, right? So first things first. Get our good friend Bob Smith in here so he can party with us. Let's put the 45 degree angle gauge away first, because you don't want to lose that one. That one's important. I don't mind losing the 5 degree or the 90 degree. I'm like, whatever. But the 45 degree? Nah, we need that one. We need that one. All right. So make sure we have the right orientation of the strip. Load that into our tweezers, right? And here we go, right there. Perfect. Okay, so now we place. Okay. That looks to be just about perfect on there. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. All right. So we'll do the same thing with the other one here. Find the right orientation. Load that up. Okay, same thing. And we place. Come on. Stop playing games with me here. There we go, finally. There we are. All right, nice, 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 nice. Now we can trim both of these back to match the shape of this piece, right? So we're gonna get the low-hanging fruit off of there first. Trim that back there. And there. All right, so now we're left with knife work. All right, so let's get this inside edge done first, because this is probably going to be the easiest part. Actually, no, I take that back. This inside corner right here. Focus. This inside corner here is probably going to be the easiest part. So let's go ahead and get that cut down to shape. Just like that. Good. Good, very good. Those two surfaces are perfectly even now. And let's do this inside bit here. Perfect. All right, so now we can do the inside right here. This, like I said, is probably going to be the easiest part to trim down. Okay. Whoa. Dropped it. All right. Let's do this again here. Okay. And just for good measure, we're going to file this down a little bit. Perfect. All right, so this inside bit matches, looking good. Now the tricky part, the outside here, where all the detail and everything are. Because this, and the other thing is, this back side of this piece is slightly beveled. So that's gonna present an interesting problem, right? But we'll jump it. We'll jump that hurdle. little bottom edge here real quick first. We'll flatten that along with the rest. Very good. That's nice and even there. All right, so now a flat edge here. And we're just going to take this slow because we've got a few different details we have to work around here. We've got this little floating notch right there, and then we've got our cross plate as well. So we're going to have to kind of work around all that stuff here. And the one thing that we're definitely going to need to do is use the very, very tip of the blade. Jesus, jumped up Christ. Charles, you're killing me, buddy. But hey, he gifted a sub over there. Nice. Jesus. Scaring the crap out of me. The super set. Man. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate you for that. Super set, I'm sure, appreciates you as well. Man. Sorvon says, is this one of those days? I really hope not. I can't do that. I can't do that, dude. I had like the tip of the blade right near the meat of my my digit. And I don't know. Charles, hold this off until later, buddy, if you're gonna spam those out. That's all I'm saying. Go into a scraping motion. That's a bit safer. Whew, boy. Scared the crap out of me, I'll tell you that. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our square profile file. Stupid. We're just going to get right up to the edge of everything, and we're just gonna even this plane right down to nothing here. Man, that's looking pretty good right there. I don't hate it. Hey. Charles, thank you, buddy. With the, what was it, the 150 bits, something like that. Oh no, 1500. 1500. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Charles, you get one of these. Hey, there we go. Super Set 5 says, what happened? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, Mike, check the Twitch chat, buddy. You'll see. You'll see. And then thank Charles afterwards, yeah? Mr. Greek Knockos. There we go. Alright. Let's get our knife back in here. Let's see if this is down to where we need it to be. Yeah, it is. Very nice. Okay. Now, there is a bit of a gap right along here, which we're going to definitely need to address. And actually, this is still a little high on this top end here, so should have thought about this before I put this cross plate on. Oh well. Too little too late now, right? Okay. Looks pretty good though. Need to take the front edge off of here to match up with the panel line. Let's get our 0.2 out of here. 0.2 millimeter. Let's clean up this top line here. Now that unfortunately chopped off a good amount of our bevel, but we've still got a good angle at the top here, so we can follow that and scrape that back in with our hobby knife here. There we go. Very nice. That's back to where it needs to be. Very good. Very good. All right. One pass with the chisel here to clean out that line, and we are good to go. All right. So, focus. There we are. Pretty good. Just kind of bevel down some of these edges just slightly. Nothing crazy. Okay, now let's see. Let's see how this fits. Oh yeah. Still very good. Still really good. That's what we like to see. Very, very nice. All right, so we're going to do the same thing to the other side real quick, and we'll get this look on its merry way. Yeah? All right. Whew, but first, let's get caught up with the chat, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Sorvan says that one was okay since you have a file instead of a knife, right? There you go. Geez, where I don't think we've caught up with the chat yet here at this point. Let's see. Manny says, "What's up, Mech Army?" Shout out from the green room. Jesus. Man. Zero Kai, Mr. Nathan over there. He says Tim needs to make a Celestial Being logo shirt so I can wear it for my custom Exia I'm building. It's an idea, right? It's an idea. Let's see. Chris Decker says that's not that old. Oh, the wimpy, hefty. Yeah. I mean, it started back in the 80s, so there's that, right? Let's see. Ty Furious says that screeching made me shiver. I felt it in my jaw, dude. Right? It's never fun. Never fun. Garrick Lau is over there on YouTube. He says, "This is awesome. Have to go. Nice work, Chada Mecha." Hey, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Let's see. I'm just trying to power through here. Andrew says, "Alexa, play Baby Shark." Sure, I got at least a few. we were dicking around earlier today on the early stream, because my Alexa was not muted at the time, but someone else's, other people's, were not muted either, and my voice came through, and it made their a-holes react. So we had fun playing Baby Shark with people. So it's stupid, I know. Shut up. We had fun with it. Anyway, hi Craig. Mr. Colin is over there waving hi to us. What's going on, buddy? Let's see. Andrew says, I'll get them next week with my epoxy putty and replacement Olfa blades. There you go. Chris says, I have a crap ton of blades if you need any. Andrew says, I still have 5 at the moment. Should be good for a few months. There you go. Hey. there's my one. Greg Blair over there on YouTube, he says, and damn it, mine literally started playing Baby Shark. I think we got at least 2 or 3 in the early stream today. Something like that. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Andrew says, I still have a crap ton of X-Acto blades around here if I feel like cutting my fingertips off. Oof. Ain't that the truth, right? Hey. William Williams says, that reminds me that I need to get a couple boxes of spare Olfa blades next time I'm out shopping. Yeah. I mean, because Will's in Japan, so he can get them stupid cheap from the source, basically, right? Yeah. Let's see. Superset 5. Oh, we already read that. What happened? Charles Dodge says, well, ordered perfect grade RX-78 for my Bandai Open build with 7 SMS paints. Nice. William Wood says, I just picked up the 160th no grade Wing Zero. If only Bandai had made some Star Trek models. Interesting. I don't think they have the rights to, but still. Superset 5 over there on Twitch. He says, I never got the notification on my Xbox app. Thanks for the gifted sub. There you go. Greg Blair says, hey, I got a question. Okay.
We have a question.
What's the best way for painting Zaku tubes? Oh, you talk about the 9th layer of hell. Painting plastic Zaku tubes is nothing that I ever recommend. But if you have to, if you really, really have to, if you are sadomasochistic enough to you know, actually commit to painting Zaku energy cable tubes, then honestly, get yourself a little bamboo skewer, wrap a little bit of tape around this, sticky side out, and just start placing those down here on this with a little bit of space in between them. That's the best way that I can come up with for painting those little bastards. Now, on the other hand, if you want an easy way out of that, just buy some metal replacement beads from eBay or USA Gundam Store, someplace like that. So that's what I would do. And that's what I did do on the Zaku that we finished working on. We finished construction late last year. Just saying. Greg Blair says, and he says, and darn it, mine literally started playing Baby Shark. There we go. R. Aurora says, putting them on long toothpicks or skewers. There you go, Andrew. Let's see. Robert Cottrell's over there on the Mecha Army Facebook page. What's going on, Robert? Good to see you, buddy. Greg Blair says, I am. Glutton for punishment, Tim. It happens, right? William Williams says, you would think painting wouldn't be as bad as having to sand every single one of them. Well, again, that honestly, Will, it comes part and parcel. You know, it's you're doing both. I mean, if you're painting, you're sanding. So again, 9th layer of hell. I ain't doing this. Nope. I'm not doing it. Ain't happening. I will get metal parts for days before I commit to painting Zaku cables. No. That is a hard pass. The hardest of passes. Okay. There we are. Okay, first edge is clean. Second edge is clean. Let's go for 3. Okay. First pass. Now, with this long of a run, we don't want to try to take off too much at one time. We're just going to take little ribbons of plastic off here. And then we can scrape that down. And now this back edge is still a little weird. Okay. Let's get the sanding block out here. Let's see what that does. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. Alright, so 3 edges are very nice. Let's go and move toward the outer edges of this piece. And as always, we're just letting the surface be our cutting guide. Now, I think from what it looks like, placement on this side, this strip, is a bit better than the other side. Because this looks a lot more even with the part. See, that's pretty decent right now. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the square file in here and just let's go this direction here. That's not going to work. We're going to go back this direction. good. Yeah, that looks really nice. Okay. Now we just take off a bit of chaff all the way around here. And then we can kind of move on to the next step of what we're doing. Very good. All right, so now let's put this sucker back together and see what that looks like there. And there we are. See, we got a nice little bump out there now. Looks a little bit beefier in the back here. Looking pretty good. I like that look. So now what we can do is make sure, number one, our panel lines are completely exposed here. Okay, that side looks really good. Have to come back and sand that down a little bit more flush than what it is right now, right? Let's see. But that looks pretty damn good right now. All right, let's go ahead, get these in here. Get those in there, and there's our look from the back. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. All right, so now, having thoughts. Thoughts about these. Yeah? Having thoughts about these. These little girder looking doohickeys here, right? These are really cool. I love the look of these. I really, really do. Let's see. If we were to put that right there. All right, let's play around with this here real quick, shall we? I think so. All right, so there's that, and then okay, so we're gonna need to pull out the 400 to get all this crud off of here. These aren't molded the greatest, but still, they're gonna be the closest damn thing that you're gonna find to some nice nice kind of support girders and stuff like that, right? Mold lines on this are pretty gnarly. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not, but you can see it a little bit there in the shadow, right, across the top here. It's kind of Kind of bad. It's a bad-o. Use a bad-o, son. Alright, anyway. You know what would work? This right here. This would work. Ah, yeah, perfectly smooth. Very nice. Okay, so flip that upside down and pray we can get this balanced and straight. Come on, work with me here. Word. All right. And then we're going to take down the sides just a little bit too, because these sides are a little too wide for my liking. Yeah, you stupid. Just stupid. Okay. Yeah, good, good, good. Okay. Same thing to the other side. Just reel those back in a little bit. Okay. Now, good, good. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a better shape to work with here, right? A little bit of a better shape. That's not the one we want. This is the one we want right here. All right. So there's a bit of a hump on this end here. We need to flatten that out. There we go. All right, so now that's nice and straight. That's looking much better. Okie dokie. So now, what I'm thinking is just that right there. Man, I think that would look really nice right along the top there. Just as a little bit of support, right? Almost, I forget who mentioned it, but almost like a, you know, like one of those rails, what are they called? Picatinny rails or something like that. Almost, you know, kind of a, I don't know, almost giant-sized Picatinny rail. You know, I could see you, or I could see, you know, Earth Forces, you know, attaching stuff to this. I don't know. I think that looks really kind of badass, though. I dig it. Let's screw it. Let's attach it. Go for it. Shit, why not, right? Why not? Here we go. Okay. Man, easy to grip, that's for sure. All right, so now we only need a little super glue on this thing because it will absolutely run. There we go. All right, and we place. Okay. Nice. Okay. And we just need to take off this little edge here to even this up with a little section there. Ooh, but we need, there's a little gap in there. We need to get some super glue in that. We need to get a little super glue in that, in this little gap here. Because if we don't, that's going to split. It's going to cause a chain of reaction to where this thing's just going to pop right off. So we got a little drop of focus. We got a little drop of super glue there on that edge. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop it right there all the way around this back edge here. Just like that. All right. Man. Alrighty. But I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I dig it. Very prototype-ish, right? It looks like the engineers who designed it are just basically throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks, right? And that's the exact look that we're going for. Prototype. So I think that looks really good. You know, you got your exposed cabling and everything like that there. You got your little weird antenna here. You got your little weird rail, your support triangles and everything, because the engineers don't know if this thing's going to work, especially in the field. Why not, right? Reinforce it. Hell yeah. Anyway. Hey, Mr. Jim and Boo, 13-month Twitch sub. 13 months, over a year. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you, buddy. Hey, you get one of these. There we go. Hell yeah. Ah, very good. Anyway, Chris Degger says Picatinny rails usually have a wider locking part to the weapon, though they make a little box around the rounded part. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. Will says that looks like an iron sight, right? I don't know. I just think it looks freaking cool. I've been wanting to use these dumb girders for a while. And it's just like, that's kind of a really good dumb look for reason to use it, right? I mean, it doesn't get in the way of, you know, this big barrel dumb thing. And hell, even if this was straight up, it still really wouldn't get in the way, but it's always off to the side. Anyway, I dig it. I like it. We're keeping it. Done deal. Bada boom, bada bing. So let's see if this glue is dried on the back. Not quite yet. It's still a bit tacky, so we're going to move on here. All right, so let's... These are looking good. All that there. Very nice. Okay, so next thing I wanted to do was to address the exhaust here, right? Because this is the bigger one. This one's from the Gundam Unicorn bazooka rifle, whatever, that Mr. Greg Blair had sent us. So thank you again, Greg, for these parts. These are definitely going to be useful. Let's get the nubbies trim down here real quick. There we go. Just slowly trim these away, a little ribbon by ribbon here, nothing crazy. And then, once you get it flat enough, scrape it down even with the rest of it. And even though you can see the remnants of that nub, you do a fingernail test, you ain't gonna feel it. That's for sure. So that's the best way that I can tell you to get rid of nubs. The easiest, right? Okay, so there we go. All right, so now this obviously was not meant to go on here, right? This is very loosey-goosey here. Let's check the diameter on this. This is 7.9. Yeah, about 7.9, we'll say. The inner diameter of this is... Come on now. It's about 8.2 almost. So about a third of a millimeter off, right? So if we went ahead and glued a couple, maybe 2-3 strips of 1/4 millimeter by 1 millimeter around this barrel here, this should, in theory, slot on here and be fairly tight, right? It's not going to be, you know, super, super crazy tight, like, oh my god, I can't get the thing off now. But it should be tight enough to where it'll stay on there without falling off. And that's really our big worry, right? So, all right. Let's get a couple strips here. Andrew says, why not just use the coupler of the old exhaust? Well, see, that's the thing. This pops on here just like that, right? That's solid. And this is all just one piece. If we were to do something like that, I'm not really digging the length of this. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. That's just way too long for me. That's just way too long. So we'll put that off to the side, maybe use that for something else in the future. But I really, really, really like the look of that. That looks very nice. And basically, the ridges and everything around here, I mean, that's what it, in my opinion, what it should look like, right? It should have some heft to it, right? We're building this prototype bazooka. This should have kind of like a sense of, we don't know if it's gonna work or not, guys. We're gonna overkill everything. That's the kind of feeling that, you know, I would expect for something like this, right? We're just gonna build it to crazy specifications and hope the pilot doesn't die. That's basically the intent, right? We're not responsible if the mobile suit explodes. Or the bazooka, for that matter. We told you this was crazy. You didn't want to listen. Not our fault. Alright, we've got 2 strips there. And man, this is tiny, tiny strip here. Alright, so there's our 3, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this around the bottom edge of this barrel here, right? Let's see here. Just like that, and we're just going to kind of the lower third here. That's good there. And we'll put this one right on that seam line. So we don't obstruct that right now, because we're gonna, obviously we're gonna need to glue these 2 pieces together at some point in the future, but we're just not ready for that particular step right this second. So we'll put this strip on one side of the seam line. And then we'll put this strip on the other side. Okay, so there's our 3 little strips there that we're basically using to artificially widen this piece to try and fit the new exhaust, right? So here, let's do this. Let's cut these down to the same height, and then we're going to bevel these so it's a little bit easier for this thing to slide on, right? It's not catching any sharp corners or anything like that, obstructing the fit. Okay. All right, so there's that. Moment of truth. Come on. There we go. Nice and tight, but not tight enough to pull off of there, right? And that is not going anywhere. That's nice and snug. And there we go. And all it took was 3 little strips of plastic there. And once this is on, you never see them. Except if you're at the perfect angle. And even then, we're going to go back and probably put something in here to mask all this off and make that look a little bit more detailed. But there's the look of the mag, right? That looks really good so far. Really good. Let's marry all this up and see how this looks now. Okay. And there it is. Yeah. Hell yeah. See, that's just, man, that screams prototype, you guys, right? That screams we're just going to add parts onto this thing and not worry about the looks of it. We just want to know if it works. Right? But in that same vein, it does look cool. At least it looks cool to me, right? I think it looks badass. I don't know about y'all, but if you were to compare, these two together, I mean, come on, these both of these weapons come from the exact same place. In turn, just due to aesthetics alone, right? Both of these weapons come from the same exact engineering facility. I mean, you can just tell them just by the work and the details and everything like that. They come from the same place. You just know it, right? I can't even, having trouble standing this thing up here. Whatever, stupid. But yeah, those look exactly like they came from the same place. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I really like it. Whew. Julius Dembski, he says, Sarge, how will one of your ball valve needle thruster bell thingies look in the back of the bazooka? You know, I don't know. I don't know. We're going to jump that hurdle when we come to it, Sarge. As of right this second, I want to try and do a little bit more down here before our time is up tonight. And we still have a good 40 minutes, so we're plenty good on time. But I'm just really happy. Get out of there. Really happy with the exhaust port back there. Yeah. I really like it. Yeah. Let's get caught up with the chatty chat here, yeah? Let's see. Scrolling back. Where do we leave off? Oh, let's see. Talking about the Zaku, the Zaku power tubes, yeah? Charles Dodge says USA Gundam Store is out of the beads for Zaku's. They are getting shipments in like all the time. Just saying. Or check eBay. You'll find them somewhere. Andrew says, I want to switch over to the metal power cables, but I would probably hit them with metal primer and paint them the color of the kit. Tired of pulling Zaku cables and making fingers bleed. Yeah, well, still, even the metal parts are going to be easier because you don't have to sand them, right? And they're going to hold the detail so much better. So you hit them with a little bit of metal primer. You hit them with your normal primer. You paint them. Bob's your uncle. The rest is history. You're good to go. So why not, right? Why not? Let's see. Sperion says, love your finger. You will only get 8 of them. Right? There you go. Let's see. Superset5 over there on Twitch. He says, I was playing some Titanfall 2 today, and my mech gave me the idea to scratch build a similar weapon to what it uses, a massive, heavy machine gun, although that wouldn't look right on a Delta Plus, so I'm going with the Faz for the Bandai Open. There you go. Andrew says, one of my uncles is diabetic and has other health problems, I think. Not sure because it's been so long. He lost one of his big toes and they replaced it with a finger. One of his fingers. Jesus. I don't know how to react to that, Andrew. I really don't. It's just a kind of a weird story. Just saying. Sperion says, must have been the little piggy you can get along with. Missing the others. Yeah, well, man. Henry says, we'll make it look more busy, in my opinion. I don't know, man. I think Henry was talking about the rail. I think it looks, I don't know, I like it. I think it looks really good. Let's get that down into the gray section so it has a little bit more contrast. You can see it a little bit better. But, all right. That's a lost cause. Here, let's just do this. Screw it, right? Boom. Right there. And there. Perfect. Anyway, Chris R says, side note, had a Sabaton meeting today. Had a Sabaton meeting. As of now, it is still going on, and so is the Gunpla model contest. Excellent. Excellent. He says, but we got 4 months to go, so we shall see. Yeah. Same thing with USA Gundam Store. I talked to Adam the other day. Mecha Modeling Expo is still on schedule as of now. But you know what? We wait and see. We wait and see, because right now, Florida is one of those states that is fairly open, but they still do have some traveling restrictions. So from what I remember, I looked at the Southwest site the other day, and Florida right now has a self-quarantine mandate for people flying in from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and I think from the city of New Orleans. If you're flying in from one of those places, the mandate is 14-day self-quarantine as soon as you land. Which, unless you fly down 2 weeks ahead of Mecha Modeling Expo, doesn't sound like the greatest time in the world. Just saying. So, but who knows what's going to happen in the next several months, you know? This thing could be, you know, stalled out. Wave 2 could hit. It's just everybody cross our fingers that it'll be good, right? So, yeah. Andrew says, what about driving down to Florida, Tim? I think it's going to be the same thing for people coming in from those states. So if you have, you know, like a license plate or something like that, I think you're still going to be mandated to self-quarantine. Me, I'm flying in from Maryland, so I don't give a shit. I'm good to go. Yeah. But, yeah, so, you know, and Chris, I don't know how Arizona is, but, you know, a lot of states have, you know, traveling restrictions from people flying in. So, yeah, fingers crossed, dude, because I would love to get to both, because one weekend is USA Gundam Store, the Mecha Modeling Expo. The next weekend is SabatonCon in Phoenix. So, yeah, I'd still love to go to both if it's possible. Just saying. Let's see. William Wilms says, that looks like a long iron sight. Yeah. Andrew says, I wonder how many bottles of super glue Tim has. Actually, 2. I have 2. I have this one, which is still probably, I don't know, at least half full. And then this one that our good friend, Mr. Julius Dembski, was nice enough to send to me, along with another bottle of Instaset. So, Sarge, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, the big 2-ounce bottles, they go a long way. Way longer than these dinky little half-ounce bottles, right? Those don't do crap. Hate them. But the 2-ouncers, yeah, nice. Let's see. Manny says, we're going to add the glue off camera. Here you go. Let's see. Chris R says, stealing ideas for my Dom bazooka. There you go. Sorvon Zero says, Iron Sight is a good call. No telling how well the optic would work on it since it's a prototype. That's a good call, Sorvon. I didn't even think about that, but that's actually a really good call. So, redundancy, right? Can't have enough redundancy when it's a prototype. Makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. Greg Blair over there on YouTube, he says, you're welcome, Tim. Like I said, the parts would literally collect dust. You'll use them before I do, buddy boy. Hey, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Andrew says, Tim, everyone is crazy to varying degrees. The ones that insist that they're sane are the most dangerous ones. Whew. Ain't that the truth? Andrew says, why not just use the coupler? Oh, we already read that. William Wim says, the first pilot always dies. Yeah. That's why this is the RX-782. Chris Degger says, what about the RX-782? Was that not a prototype? No, it still was. It just wasn't the one. Andrew says, I think he's referring to the pilot of the RX-78-1, right? Chris Degger says, I assume he is toast. Andrew says, I think so. Chris Degger says, I just looked up the RX-78-1. I like those colors more than the Mark II. I actually do too. I like the G3 so much better than any of them. Just the grayscale, so nice. Greg Blair says that rail really sets it off. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Inkao Chi Hung is over there on YouTube. He says, damn. He says, look like your Jesta. That's the point. Yeah, hell yeah, that's the point. Chris Degger says, I love those red wires on the side of the beam cannon. Dude, I do too. It just kind of pops everything, right? Let's see. William Williams says, you are talking about all this prototyping, and that makes me wonder what colors you would do the suit in as a prototype for testing. Well, I've already said that the paint scheme for the RX Jesta, which is just a loose name at this point because it is an RX-78-2, but my vision of it, we're going to do it in the original colors, because this will be Amuro's mobile suit. Yeah. So we're just going into crazy land a little bit. We're going into remix territory, we're just having fun with it. So yeah, that's why. But in terms of actual prototype testing, man, you can't get away with the or you can't have enough of the orange and light gray color scheme. It screams prototype. It's so nice. Chris R says, you should send me a pic of those weapons, Tim, so I can take some inspiration from them for the Dom. Yeah, I'm good with that. Message me, Chris, and I'll shoot you some close-ups and stuff. Andrew says, resin rifle when? LOL. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna resin cast this yet, Andrew. Calm down, son. Calm down. Greg Blair, speaking of the Bandai Open, I just got to take pictures of my Jabrera Tetra and submit it, but I don't know what to put it under. It's just a simple paint job, Mecha Decals, hey, and a custom base. I don't know. Put it in whatever category that you're comfortable with, I would say, Greg. You know? Yeah. Let's see. Superset over there on Twitch. He's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, since the Faz has some large pieces, should I use spray cans or versus airbrush? If so, which brand has a larger selection of colors? I would still go airbrush because, number one, you're going to have more control over the paint. You're going to waste less material in terms of paint, and you're not going to have the nasty overspray, right? So even though it does have large parts, if you have like a half mil, like a 0.5 millimeter nozzle, you're going to get a decent sized spray pattern out of that. So that's what I would do, Michael. I would go airbrush all the way. So, but that's just me. Dan B is over there on YouTube. He says, they just said on the news here in Orlando that Disney is going to open up mid-July, a sign to stay positive about the expo. Man, I hope so. I really, really do. I'm literally gonna tie my fingers in this position for the next few months. Yeah. Sorvan says 2 optics on the rifle, iron sight backup on the bazooka, lots of redundancy. Yeah, why not, right? Hey, there's our boy Vincent. Vincent Lewis is over there on YouTube. He says, hey, what's good, guys? How you doing, Tim? I'm doing good, man. How are you doing, Vince? He says, I like the bazooka, looking good. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Let's see. Andrew says, next year from Bandai, RX-78-2 version shot of Mecha. I don't see that ever happening, but it would be extremely humbling, right? Ty Furious says, I was listening to a podcast recently, and the G3 were supposed to be the original colors, but for marketing reasons, the colors were changed. That's accurate. I forget where I saw that. It was a Tamino thing. I might have saw it on YouTube or something like that. I forget where I saw it, but yeah. So Sunrise decided to go with the more colorful option to appeal to kids. So that was the reasoning. So because they thought the gray was just too boring and bland, which if you're marketing a show to kids, I agree. I get it. But I still like the G3 colors just so much better. It's just, And then the Katoki version of the G3, whoa, straight grayscale, heavy white decaling all over the place with the G3 and the EFSF on the other side of the shoulders. Oh, so nice. So nice. Greek Nakos over there on Twitch, he says, I don't know if Tim covered it, but if you already have an airbrush, always airbrush. Bingo. Better surface results and less waste of paint. Good job, Charles. And using colors across paint lines will ensure you always have the largest color selection. Bingo. Superset says, all right, thanks. There we go. Edward Leonard. What's going on, Edward? He says, hey, all, hope everyone is staying safe and are well. Been dealing with a bunch of shit lately. Wash your damn hands and be safe. Continue to wear masks no matter what. Uh-oh. Edward, same to you, buddy. Same to you. Hope you're doing well, man. Vincent Lewis says, doing pretty good, man. Awesome. That's good to hear. Andrew over there says, going to use one of my HDUC Revive RX78-2 as a test of my airbrushes and compressor and paint it in G3 color scheme. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Superset5 says Bandai should hire you for the Chata Mecha line. They can call it version com, right? Oh, man. If only. If only, right? My designs would rival Naoki's, right? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll leave that to the imagination. Yeah? We'll leave that to the imagination. I don't know. I don't think it. I personally don't think it would work. But hey, it's flattering for you guys to think that, right? So good stuff. All right. So let's see. Chris R says, "Ooh, my 40th anniversary RX came in today. Nice." Absurd is over there on YouTube. He says, are Mecha Decals only available on USA Gundam Store? Primarily, yes. There are other places that have gotten wholesale deals with USA Gundam Store. So, especially in Canada, there is a shop up there called Show Me What You Bought, BOT, right? Very good store, very reputable. They carry Mecha Decals up there if you're in Canada. But no, for the most part, yeah. Mecha Decals are sold through USA Gundam Store. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Anywho, all right, back to this, right? We're going to work on the lower... ooh, what happened there? That was weird. It just freaked out on us. I think it was the wiring there. But anyway, we're back, right? Colin, Mr. Hi Craig, show me what you bought is great. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I agree with you 100% there, Colin. Good store. Anyway, let's get this broken down and taken apart here, yeah? Pop that off there, and then that just comes off. All right, so we've got the mag and everything there. Still really like how that fits. That just like a freaking glove right there. I love it. So that's perfect. So, what we're going to focus on is this part right here. Mainly this surface and this surface. And we're going to bulk these up a decent amount, I think. A pretty decent amount, right? Now, a couple things that we do need to keep in mind here, and let's pop these back in here since they offer a bit of stability and all that. A couple things we need to keep in mind is that this is where it sits on the shoulder, right? So if we match this up to this shoulder, the Justice shoulder, we've got, we've got a bit of clearance, not a terrible amount, or it can drop down. Let's turn it around in this section here. It can drop down to the edge of the shoulder like that, you know. Let's try to get an arm over here. Here we go. Here's an arm. And now we need a shoulder piece to attach that to. Here we go. Here's this. And get in there. There we go. All right. So we've got the arm and everything attached there. Let's zoom out just a bit so you can kind of see what this looks like here. Okay. The face is falling out of the head there. Anyway. So get. And the cool thing is that these little attachment pegs in the hand and the weapon are universal for these newer style kits, right? So that helps the hand especially to hold the handle here. Let's bend that down a little bit, and let's see if we can't get this coupled up here without ruining everything that we've already worked for. Alright. And extend the arm straight. Jesus, this is probably the hardest part so far. Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me. Turn the hand straight this way. Alright. Just, son of a bitch. Christ. Anyway. Stupid. There and there. Now we're cooking. Alright, so now that hand is holding the bazooka. And let's get that there. Now, chances are I will probably never display this with the bazooka in hand, just for transparency, right? I will probably never do this, but as a ooh, that is a sexy look. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's a pretty damn good look right there, right? But that goes to show you how much clearance we have if we wanted to display this with the bazooka in hand. I don't know, maybe if if I ever traveled someplace and just wanted to take the RX and show it off, right? Or, have the whole diorama. I don't know. Those are all options on the table for the future, right? So, but what that does for us, that gives us an indication of how much space we have to work with in terms of practicality for spacing and all of that, right? So we can build this up. We can build this up a fair amount, maybe 3-4 millimeters out from the surface. So that's, I think, what we're going to go ahead and start to do here. Now, first things first. Yeah, I think this gets an entire base plate, right? So just laminate an entire 1 millimeter sheet on top of this just to bump this out, another millimeter. So let's do that first, because that's going to be the easiest thing that we're going to be doing here right now. The hard part is to find a 1mm sheet. That's going to be the hardest thing to do right now. Let's see, do I have any over here? That's all 0.5mm. Let's, ooh, here's the scrap bin. Let's see what we have in the scrap bin here. Ooh, what's this right here? That, my friends, looks like a winner. Winner, winner. Let's go this side and... Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's 1mm. That's exactly what we want. Exactly what we want. All right. So, cool. We can just cut a strip right off of here. Just right there and right there. Okay, cool. So we'll get our T-square here. We'll give it a little more than a millimeter clearance on this side. Okay. Score and snap. There we are. Easy. So let's get this sanded on both sides, just so we have a nice flat plate that we can deal with here, right? Yeah, Andrew, he says autofocus is being bad again. Yeah, well, a damn camera is temperamental, right? Because what happens is it focuses on the matte, but then when I only hold, go like this, oh, now it son of a bitch. Usually when I go, when I hold something like this, see how it doesn't focus, but when it's right smack in the middle, that's when it focuses. Stupid camera. Still a good picture though, so I'm not going to give up on it. It's still a really good camera to use as an overhead. I'm waiting a little bit to upgrade this system here, because once I do that, then we can go and I can use like what are called NDI cameras. So for those of you that don't know what that is, that's it's a type of connection that OBS and some of the other streaming softwares have. It's essentially like you can connect other computers and have them be media sources. Also the other cool thing is that you can use like your phone as a webcam as well, right? So what I could do is I could set up the iPhone like right here across to the corner of me, and then shoot down kind of at a 3/4 angle, almost like what Chris Pabs does for his live streams, right? I need to upgrade the system because this computer, the processor and motherboard are so old, and the RAM and everything is so old in it that it can't keep up with the frame rate from the iPhone. It can't crunch that video very well right now. So I've got a nice Ryzen processor, new motherboard, RAM all selected out. It's like a little over $300 on Amazon right now, but I'm kind of waiting, trying to wait a little bit so I can until the new Ryzens are out and kind of in the wild for a while, and then once those are done, then the older processors will start to come down in price. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for right now, and kind of hoping and waiting. But then once that happens, oh, then we're off to the races with the NDI. Yeah. Because it definitely works. It connects, and it's an amazing it's an amazing camera and all that, and the clarity is great, and you can get in super tight at different angles, and it's not just a straight up angle. You can see, like, at I can literally take it anywhere in the studio. I could do a complete walk around of the studio. That means we could go over to the workbench, and I can show you resin casting, or I can take you over to the vacuum former, I can take you over to the drill press, or the airbrush setup, or hell, even the light booth over here. I can show you guys that, right? I'm unfortunately tied in to the work desk right now, so yeah, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Colin, Mr. High Craig, he says, been trying to get NDI to work, but it kills my CPU. Yeah, same. It kills my CPU. It kills my graphics card. It just slows everything down to shit. I tried like private test streams, and every time I had the NDI source, even in a scene within OBS, it just killed everything. It killed the frame rate. It dragged the frame rate down to like 5 frames a second, which is like so damn painful. And then it would buffer and go crazy, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. But upgrading would definitely help that at this point. So, got a Ryzen 5 processor, an older one. I think it's like 3.9 gigahertz, 6 core. I think it's, what is the 3600? Something like that. Yeah. Anyway. Let's see. Andrew says, still using a computer with DDR2 memory. Probably. This thing is so damn old that it's non-salvageable at this point. It's so old. It's an old i7 Intel. It's got a cheap little NVIDIA graphics card in it. I think it's got 8 gigs of RAM, something like that. So, upgrading for $300, that's not bad. It's definitely a huge advantage over what we have right now. So, Andrew says, I know others like ATI Radeon Tech, but I've had nothing but trouble with them. I'll stick with an Intel NVIDIA combo. On my main rig out there, I have Ryzen. It was one of the faster processors, and I forget what it is. Off the top of my head, it was a 4-point-something 8 core, I think, something like that. And I've had wonderful luck with it. I've got 2 GTX 1080s in SLI on that, and it just churns through frame rates and video rendering and all that. But now, and this is the awesome thing, because I don't game hardly ever, so I don't care. Like, and one 1080 can handle pretty much anything anyways. The reason why I got 2 in SLI was to churn through video rendering. But now, Premiere Pro uses native hardware rendering, which can speed up your render process like 250% over what it was before. So I said to myself, well, why do I need 2 cards then? That's stupid. So I can take one of those 1080s, pop it into the upgraded system, and have a beast for streaming setup. It just makes sense, and it saves me a ton of cash, so I don't have to buy a new graphics card. So, yeah, there we go. That's the plan anyways, right? We'll see. Let's see. Andrew says you need to tack on $100 for your OS, Tim. Can't use the PC's installed OS with a new motherboard. You'll have to get a new registration kit. I don't... We'll see. We'll see. If I do, I do. It's not a big deal. Chris Decker says, oh god, that new Premiere rendering is amazing. Dude, it is. It really, really is. I haven't put it to the test much yet, but just the little rendering that I've done with it, it just screams. And from what I've, from the reviews and stuff that I've seen on on YouTube and stuff, it doesn't, it works fine on one card. It really doesn't need SLI at that point, and that's the only reason why I got to 1080s. In SLI is to churn through video rendering. That's the main reason, because of all the CUDA cores. So now I don't need that, because Premiere Pro is amazing now. So screw it. Why have two 1080s in there? It's just taking up space and power. Take it out of one, put it in the upgraded setup. Bob's your uncle. We're off to the races. NDI, here we go. Hey. Right? So Ty Furious says Linux is free and OBS works on Linux. Yeah, I'm not fucking around with Linux. I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm not fucking around with it. I'm just not fucking around with Linux. Let's see. Brandon Cobb is over there on Facebook. He's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, how do you get such clean custom water slide decals? Bandai offers Blue Destiny decals for the various units and the Efreet, but I'm worried that the sizes might not match well with the 100 resin conversions. So, Brandon, back in the day, I shouldn't say back in the day, I still have it. It's called an Alps printer. And what it is, it's a dry ink printer. So it has a ribbon, right? And it has a heating element, and it's similar to dye sublimation, but it heats the ink in the pattern that you're printing, and that adheres to whatever paper that you're printing on. So you can get, clear decal paper and stuff like that, or at least I used to. And I used to print my old decals that way. The decals actually on the Blue Destiny are ones that I printed probably 15 years ago. And I still had those, and they were still completely viable. The problem with using an Alps today is that it only runs, natively it only runs on Windows XP, which has been long forgotten. There are drivers to bring it on to Win 7 and Win 10, but the other issue that you run into is just finding the ink for it. The ink, if you can find it, is rather expensive. Some third parties make, knockoff ink, but I've used it and it's not nearly as good. It's actually pretty terrible, the ones that I used. So to find true Alps printer ribbons anymore, you're looking at a huge cost investment. So that's kind of how I was able to print my own decals back in the day, but I don't do it anymore. I would go through a custom decal printer. There's a bunch of people out there. There's a guy up in Canada that I highly recommend. If you want the URL, Brandon, message me, either through the Facebook page or through, my personal account, either or, doesn't matter. And I'll hook you up with the link. The guy is very, very good. He's got like a $20,000 printer, like an Epson printer, and it prints in 5 colors, CMYK and white. I know, Andrew over here, on YouTube, in the YouTube chat has, gotten decals from this gentleman, and yeah, He's legit. It's really, really good. So, yeah. So Brandon, if you want the link to that, just message me and I'll hook you up with that. But it is, I will say right off the bat, it's a little expensive. It's a little expensive for custom decals because they are custom, one-offs and stuff like that. So just be prepared for the price. So, but yeah, if you want the link, hit me up. I'll share it with you. Chris Degger over here on YouTube, he says, I used it the other day, rendered out about 1.5 hours of footage, blazing fast on my machine. Yeah, see, I love it. Pab says, man, I know this pain. It took me 14 hours to render Stinger for Tim. Shut up, Pabs. It's not even the right font. No, I appreciate it. Manny says, hey, it's Pabs, the resin god. Pab says, it's a cursed title, Manny. LOL, I've been scrubbing and drying resin all night. Ooh. Like, what are you working on, Pabs? Don't tell me you're working on... Are you working on it? The cursed build? The Yak Mirage Twin Tower 1/100 scale? Don't tell me you're working on the clubs and everything. Oh my god. Oh my god. Who's your driver? Jesus. There's a lady that and this is just an offside type of thing. There's this lady that lives in Alabama that used to work with us, with my company and do freelance and stuff like that. And she's just sweetest lady on earth. I love her to death. And whenever she would, kind of exclaim, like, oh my god, like, she would be like, oh my god. It's funniest shit ever. Just, anyway, it just kind of reminded me of her, that's all. We don't, unfortunately, we don't work with her anymore, mainly due to the Rona. Just because, costs and shit like that for freelance is kind of not in the budget at this point, especially since we're on the PPP, the Payroll Protection Plan, right? Get that loan money from the government. All right. Trim this guy down to where we need it to be. And we'll get to trimming here. That looks pretty good. All right, see how... All right, so yeah, even in the middle, let's move it up just a bit. Will it focus? Nope, it's focused on the mat. Now it is, because the majority of the focal plane was up here. That's how these things work, you guys. All right. So, let's see. Let's take off a little bit more. Who's your driver? God, I don't miss Alabama at all. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice state. It's just so different. Okay. Pretty good. Let's get a little sandage up in here. We're gonna go in this direction. Okay. Very good. Very good. That Who's Your Driver accent reminds me of the mechanic from the Borderlands games. What was his Skeeter, something like that. I forget his name, but he's just, all I remember is like, this is where the cars live. Fucking hell, so funny. Anyway, all right, let's get caught up with the chat, because it's midnight. This is gonna take a little while, so let's get caught up, shall we? Where did we leave off? Manny says, I hate to be you, Chris. Do you want to trade? I'll do the resin work and you can sand up my ninja whip. There you go. Pab says, part of IT and part of the wound wart. Gotcha. Absurd says, I have a question.
We have a question.
Second budget option for God Hand nippers. Number one, God Hand nippers I think are a little overrated. So let's get that straight out of the gate, right? There are two types of nippers. Absurd. There are single-bladed nippers, and there are double-bladed nippers. Now, in terms of my personal preference, I like double-bladed. Just always have. Just it works with my style, right? So for double blades, I like the Tamiya 74123s, or the 123s as they're just commonly known as. When you go to buy, or if I should say you go to buy Tamiyas, there are three different styles. The 123s are the better ones, and you'll see the number in the listing, or at least you should see the number in the listing, and the last three digits are what you're going to look for. These are the 123s. These are very nice and tight nippers. These are double bladed and they are very sharp too, and these are nice and flat under here. Very, very good set of nippers. Now, on the other hand, if you want a single-sided, single-bladed nipper similar to the God Hands, then I would absolutely recommend the USA Gundam Store nippers. The reason being is because Adam went through the same people that make God Hands to make his. So these are pretty much off-brand God Hands anyways, right? They do have, you know, the tension screw right there and everything like that. They've got the stop, the spring, the whole 9 yards. This is all very, very reminiscent to God Hand style nippers, but these are by USA Gundam Store. These are single-bladed. So this side here, focus. This side here is your blade. This side here is your stop. So these cut very nicely. But it's just, I don't know. I'm so used to double-bladed. That's just my own personal preference. But if you want a single-bladed, USA Gundam Store nippers are definitely the way to go, in my opinion. There is a gentleman by the name of Paul Budzik on YouTube. He runs the Scale Model Workshop YouTube channel. He did a full rundown on nippers, and he matched up God Hands and a bunch of other ones, and the Tamiya 123s. And these actually came out on top in terms of his preference, right? And this man is just an absolute gem of knowledge. He's been in this hobby, not in Gunpla, but in scale modeling for many, many decades, and is just an absolute source of information. So I would highly recommend you go check out his channel and video. That's going to give you way more information than you would probably want, but it's going to get you some good insight into what to look for in terms of nippers. But yeah, so hopefully that helps. Good question. Let's see. Andrew says, what about the new Gundam resin kit, Pabs? How's that coming? Pab says that's ready for priming this Saturday. There you go. Manny says, get the Vault Can. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Vault Can nippers as well. Promo code MECDO10. I don't know if Manny's joking or not, but hey. let's see. Pab says, had to soak the pieces in the tub. For fuck's sake. Jesus, Pabs. Yeah. William Williams says, looking at the Tamiya 123 nippers. Yep. Which are those right there on screen. Andrew says, where would you buy them from, Manny? Amazon actually carries Vulcan products, Andrew. Yeah. Andrew says, damn, Pabs. He says, I need to soak my GM Spartan conversion kit, but I don't have any place to set the pan I want to soak them in. Eesh. He says, everyone got their shit on my tables. Nice. Manny says, gotta catch a ride. Manny, take care, buddy. Chris Degger says, USA Gundam Store nippers are almost as good as God Hand, in my opinion. I have both and use them interchangeably. There you go. Andrew says, later all. Take care, Andrew. Chris Pab says, oh, shit, Manny, I didn't see your message. You got a deal. Hey, there you go. Vincent Lewis says, hey, Tim, I have a question. Okie dokie. Let's get this reloaded here.
We have a question.
Finally. He says, have you ever thinned out Tamiya panel line accent color? Mine seems like it has thickened and doesn't flow as well as it used to. I've never had to thin it, no. But if I was to thin it, I would use lighter fluid. I specifically use Zippo lighter fluid because it just seems to work really, really well with the Tamiya panel lining accent color. You can get it in pretty large bottles as well. Most hardware stores carry it. Some grocery stores carry it. But if for some reason you can't find it, Amazon, link below. I've got links to all that, you know, the larger bottles and everything. But that will definitely help to thin out the Tamiya panel accent color, and then also clean it up on the back end too. So 2 birds, 1 stone. So there you go. Hopefully that helps, Vince. Absurd says, thanks, bro. You're welcome, man. Frankie RG, he's over there on YouTube. He says, am I late to the party? You're never late, Frankie. Charles Dodge says, every time, Frankie. Manny says, I'm not joking. I don't know. Mike Skyer says, USA Gundam nippers are great, and you get free shipping when you buy them. There you go. I forgot about that. You do get free shipping when you buy them, right? Hell yeah. Manny says, Frankie, I miss you. Frankie says, I miss me too. Aww. Frankie says, sorry, but the coolest guy always arrives late. Jesus, this motherfucker. Manny says, then you must be superstar cool, Frankie. Right? Vince Lewis says, yep, that does. Thanks, man. You are welcome, Vince. Chris Degger says, LOL, I just picked up my Mecha Decals from Show Me What You Bought. Nice! I just yelled. I'm sorry. Chris, thank you. Man, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Excellent. Excellent. On that note, can't end much better than that. Let's go camera 1, shall we? Boom. There we go. All right. So, you guys, just real quick. Rocking the 67th Tactical Mobile Suit Squad. Fighting Cocks. With the Jesta designation on the sleeve. Very nice. If you want to rock one of these, man, hit up chowdamecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, many more hats, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff in there. So go load up. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with here tonight, Tamiya 123s, all that good stuff, Amazon link just below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook. Now, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it doesn't increase the cost for you. It goes to help out me, help out the stream, fuel our endeavors moving forward, right? A lot of cool stuff in there. Like I said, books for inspiration, gear for streaming if you want to get into that, and then, of course, the tools and materials that we use on a daily basis. So go take a look. You might find something that you like, right? Anyway, if you are interested in kits, tools, paints, USA Gundam Store nippers, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Right down there at our friends USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine folks down there will definitely have what you need. Now, if you enjoy the stream, if you find value in it, if you learn from it, man, hit the like, subscribe, follow, and all the rest of the social media channels. You can keep up with everything that we do off stream as well. Yeah. And if you know somebody or a group of somebodies that could benefit from watching this stream, man, share it with them. It's a nice thing to do. So, one last thing. Edward Leonard's over there on YouTube, he says that business loan is set up to screw the common worker and get people off unemployment no matter what, being safe or not. Yeah, but I'm back to making what I normally make, so that's a plus. I don't know. Seems like a decent deal right now. The government does not want to pay for the subsidies of $600 per week for long, even though they offered. So this is forcing employers to bring back their employees, even though it is not the right time yet. This happened to my wife, even though the country was not open. Yeah. I mean, it's a pro and con type of thing right now, I would say. Man, like right now, it's for me, working from home, it makes sense and it works. Not saying that it works for everybody, but again, we don't really talk politics here and stuff like that, or government shit or whatever. So I hear what you're saying, Edward. I do. And I agree with it, actually. It just made sense in my situation. So, there we go. Frankie says, buy Mecha Decals and t-shirts. Shirts are fat boy friendly. Damn. Greek Nako says, another raid request when you're done. Copy paste into, okay, for Malifest TV. Real quick, though. Frankie, are you streaming? I don't know. I don't know, because Frankie said he was going to stream tonight, so... Anyway, Chris Decker says, hell yeah, Frankie, I got my fat boy size too. Nice. Greek Nako says he builds every night, 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Central Standard. Wow, that's a long-ass stream. Man. And he's got a cool microscope camera to look at nub cleanups. Ooh, that's interesting, right? Yeah, screw it. Why not? Raid. Copy. Paste. Enter. One viewer is ready to raid. 2 viewers are ready to raid. 4. Twitch. We'll see you later. Raid now. Boom. Go. Anyway. All right. So, for the rest of you that are still with us outside of the Twitch gang, we're going to call it a night. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to be back here probably tomorrow. Like I said, the second recording that I was scheduled to do today didn't go as planned. That's why I was able to have a stream, early stream today. But I have one set up tomorrow with the same guy, and I really hope that he's prepared tomorrow at 2 p.m., so an hour before our normal stream. So I may have to cancel it tomorrow. I don't know. Just FYI. Keep that in mind. Take a look at the social medias and everything like that, and just keep an eye on it, and I'll make kind of make a game time decision. So hopefully it doesn't take him too long, but I'm afraid it will, because he's just that type of person. Anyway, all right, guys. So I'm out of here. I will talk to you either tomorrow or Friday. If I don't see you, have a wonderful rest of tonight. Maybe even a wonderful rest of tomorrow. Be safe out there. Use common sense. Wash your hands. But of course, above all else, build something cool. All right. See you guys. Take care.